Welcome to the Christian Principles Podcast. You know what time it is.
Lightning Pod.
Came in a little bit late.
Been waiting to use that.
Still awesome. Came in a little bit
Pretty
late. Was
cool.
thought I haven't used a couple of my sound drops. Here's one for me. Doinker. Oh no, I have used that one.
You've
Hopefully
used that
tonight is not a doinker. We haven't used this one though.
Rather fitting for this episode, I think. Yeah.
Man, I'm pumped though. It's good we had the hamster dance because I am pumped about tonight's little bonus episode.
A little bit extra for everybody.
And we shouldn't say little either because it's no
pretty big.
small thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
We've
are
hinted
pumped
at
about
this. I believe we hinted at it in the state of the pod.
Mm-hmm.
And we're ready. We're moving forward. We're cleaning things up. We're getting fresh.
It's crazy. It's crazy where we've come, but we are so very thankful. So let's get into it. This is our official branding refresh episode. If you don't usually watch our episodes, get on Spotify or get on YouTube and see what we have tonight, because it'll be a lot less of just our faces and a lot more of a screen share with our branding reveal on it.
Yeah.
But it's good to start with where we were to get to where we're going.
And the cool thing about this is there's going to be some revelation here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Because
absolutely.
we're going to start with where we actually started, and nobody knows until this point where we started.
Nobody outside of little brother, little brother, Zockel HR, Matthew Zockel. So here we go. Okay, so starting out, take a look at this blast from the
Take a
past.
look at this. I mean,
So-
we were going somewhere.
This is like late July, early August, and Matthew Zockel has this desire for a podcast. He talks to Matt. They reach out to me. I sign on. We get going. We know we need some kind of branding, and so our conversations were like they were texting, and we're just on Canva throwing things around. And we knew we liked the blue and yellow scheme. Our alma mater being a blue and yellow look. Yeah. We knew we wanted something like a microphone, and we had a lot of this is way down the line. We had images of that old microphone on. We had images of these newer mics. Even this one you're seeing on the screen right now went through a lot of iterations.
Yeah. Well, even the light bulb was a big thing. I know for me.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, I want people, and even this is part of our intro music, our little creative theme song. It starts off with that, like, oh, I got an idea. Let's talk about that. You know, that was what we want to communicate. We're just sharing ideas, but then that's putting heads together. You definitely took it to a place.
So my first thought was like, I want a realistic skull or brain on this because we're just going to be brain dumping. It's going to be a conversation amongst some guys, which every podcast says that. But so I was like, realistic brains look awesome to me. Let's do this. And every time I put them on, I just kept thinking like, our audience is not going to be okay with this.
No. We even shared this logo with several friends, and we're like, "What are your thoughts?" We're like, anatomically correct. Is that really the way we want to go?
Like it's okay. Like there's nothing. It's not grotesque or anything, but it's just it didn't float. I liked it until I just saw it so much. I'm like, I can't do it. We like, okay, how do we represent the conversation, the idea that we're having this conversation, but as Christians, Christian as a even I remember getting to the wording. We hit on this circular pattern pretty quickly early on, as I remember. We knew we liked that wraparound wording from wherever we saw it. We did decide ultimately the brains were too much, but we liked the circle. We liked the all caps wording and some of the other things. So this is where we landed, and you see it represented on our hats. You see it represented in all the different media that we have pointed out, all the different media we have out right now. This is what we settled on. And to be honest, I still like this. I always will.
Awesome. It's really funny, too, how quickly we went from having the brains to this.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
It just
remember
jumped
that
right
now.
over there. We're like, boom, this is it. It was like
It
an
was like-
afternoon.
We nailed it. We were like, this is absolutely, it was across to the center. I liked that we kept the radiance off of the light bulb around the cross,
that's
dual
the
meeting.
idea.
We stretched out the words a little bit more, so it filled up more of the blue font of Christian Principles Podcast, filled up more of the yellow outline. And the two microphones, they're more graphic-y, kind of like the cross is more graphic-y, and they match the letters really well. I was and probably always will be pumped about
I
this
don't
design.
know if we've ever even talked about this, but the way I look at those, you said the radiance of the ideas of the light bulb that was there, but I also think of this as the connectivity. Like this is what brings us together.
Oh, yeah,
and we're
absolutely.
also, while it's going out, it's also coming in. And I was thinking about that too. It ties literally everything together.
We definitely had conversations about this. I'm just like, I'm
Oh
either
yeah,
crawling.
long time ago. We
put
just
them-
haven't
yeah,
doing
haven't
this
thought about it in a while.
this quick episode here. We hadn't kind of relived this because we want to relive it live with you.
We really are. This is off the cuff. We all did agree though. This is what we liked.
Yeah.
We liked this a lot, and it like you said, man. I remember that now. It went fast. It went real. Once we saw this, it flew by. So there's a bunch of other things you need though for a podcast that we sort of discovered as we kept going. And I see on the screen before you, there's a bit of a timeline of. First, we just had central images because, an image, a post that's only words will not get as much likes or, interaction as posts with media. So we had to start coming up with what do we want our usual media posts to look like? And so we had this yellow background with, again, that more of that realistic, and this is a drawing realism look to it. But then right away, of course, with Apple especially, you can put up episode art. So we had 1 by 1 by 1 episode art. And it was basic, but the first 9 episodes were unsponsored technically. And so, but we knew our 10th episode, we were going to announce our sponsor, our first sponsor, Zockel HR Consulting. So we kept room for that even in those first episode art pieces. And we stole the wording from our logo, of course, and used that wording for the text, the font of what the different episode cover arts would be. And I didn't put up here a picture of our original cover art because that did go through some changes, but it was relatively similar to what we have here on would be like the 7th picture in the bottom there. I like the lightning pod, which we may have to bring that back out for this episode, even if with a new cover on it. Like that lightning bolt going across the top, that was great. I look at this though, and I'm skipping ahead to our discussion with Tony, but this is really busy as I look at this now. Like there's so much going on in these cover arts. And they're only ever really small. Yeah, they're only ever really small. So probably not the best idea from even the start. That's okay. Played around with Google Meets originally, so we had a background that we would use. I put "Welcome to the Pod" on a background screen, and then as we got into YouTube, of course, in the bottom right, you'll notice what our YouTube covers came to look like, which is the horizontal. A splash behind Matt, and we had pictures of ourselves that we would put between each podcast. We still will moving forward, but this is kind of what we ended on. There was a previous iteration, but there was a lot of stuff we needed, so that's a representation.
And then
kind of like halfway through what we just saw, and that we had an established relationship with Elizabeth Roberts, and she is the communications director of the Herzog Foundation. And as we've noted, and as you are well aware of, we came on board with the Herzog Foundation podcast network, and it's been a blessing. But one of the very first things she said to us, and this is before officially coming on, she said, and one of the things we can do for you is if you ever want work on your branding,
yep,
let us help you out with that. So we filed that away. So once we felt like we were in a good place and we wanted to better represent the Herzog Foundation and better represent ourselves, we're like, hey, Elizabeth, what do you think? What do you think about us talking to whoever it is that you want us to talk to, or you would submit that we should talk to? And so I sent out that email. And this isn't something we had a lot of a conversation about other than to say, let's see what they offer. We don't have to take it. Let's just see what's up. Yeah. Matt's like, let's just see what it is.
We were feeling pretty good. I mean, for being, newbies at this stuff, like we were getting somewhere. I mean, we got hats.
We had
it was looking
hats.
good.
stickers that went out. Some of you guys got those original stickers. I still have a bunch of them. We'll still give those out because we like them. But yes,
but we are the first to admit we're not professionals.
No,
The slightest.
it's a Canva creation. Like, it wasn't even Photoshop or anything. It's Canva creation that we would, like, I knew how to PNG worked. I knew what a JPEG was. So anyway, so she puts us in contact with Tony.
Yep.
And here's Tony. I think he works closely with the Herzog Foundation. And we had that original conversation with him. And it was just back and forth. What are you guys looking for? And my thoughts of the conversation were I don't want to say impressed, but he was very much like, hey, if you guys like it, we don't need to start over with it. Let's just take what you like and let's refresh a little bit. And I remember the one thing that he said that I was like, okay, fine, you win, was he's like, do you want it to be this busy? I was like, well, maybe not. You tell us what to do. So do you have any thoughts?
I mean, that's what, going into it, I just remember, like, listen, you're the professional. I bow to your word.
Exactly.
I mean, I know just, like, glancing through things, I can recognize, I like that better than I like this.
Sure.
And I get the busyness. And, we're still playing that game as new podcasters as to, what is helpful to the audience and what are they looking for? What do they want? What do they need?
Sure.
Whereas, he's very, very knowledgeable in that area.
Way more so.
So it was very much, I remember going into that conversation with just, you know what? Take it. There's definitely the little nuances. We'll explain why, just like we just did for you guys. But I mean, don't feel like you have to limit yourself even to this. If there's something else that jumps out to you, just go for it. Send it our way. We'll see what happens. We can always. What's the worst we can say? No.
Yeah. And he also said in that conversation, he's like, I've put hours of work and things to get them completely rejected and, like, even made fun of in the presentation. He says, don't feel like you're going to hurt my feelings in this. And I was like, well, that's relieving. Not that I ever would, but that's relieving too. So it was a great interaction with Tony. Look up Tony if you ever need somebody. So here we go. This is it. This is, about to say, there's no slide between that one. This is it. This is what Tony came up with. And as you can see, one of the reasons it's sitting here and not something else is because he did stay true to what we talked about. He kept Christ at the center. I forgot about the light bulb thing, Matt. I really did, but that radiance came off of that light bulb. He kept the radiance there.
It's still there. I mean, to me, that was the coolest thing. Like, when he sent this to us, I was like, wow, I think he really liked our logo.
Yeah. He was fine with it, but he also, the other part that comes with this and this refreshing, is the refreshment, which it is, it's so much bigger, and he knows that this needs to be flexible, and he gave us flexibility that we could take the outline of what we had and make it into something else, but he with his color theory in this, with his design of it, and where he knew he could take parts of it off and still make it recognizable, I appreciated that very much. There was a little bit of, like, the pat on the back, like, okay, hey, praise the Lord, we were able to go as far as we did with this first one, and it's gonna make it through this revision. But even things like the C of Christian and the S of principles line up appropriately across the center of this thing, or at least, a little bit below center, but with each other. I don't think our first one did.
I was going to say, I'm looking at it. I'm trying to figure it out here.
I think the C is a little bit higher than the S on that one.
A little bit. I would say when we were first creating that circle, that was so frustrating.
With the letters.
Getting that spacing of Christian and principles. Like, the fact that he crushed that is awesome.
He crushed that kerning, man. He crushed that kerning. That's the thing. Yeah, we get the professional to do it. The professional's going to be professional about it. Yeah. So he replaced the microphones with these dashes. That's fine. Of course, again, because it says podcast. He's right.
Redundant.
So saying that we need to be flexible, here's a new look. Here's the look at some of the flexible pieces that we will be using coming forward. So he, of course, gave us not only we would say, like, the whole logo at the center, but then he broke it out for us into these other pieces. So the top two pieces we have here are a 3-colored website header piece. So headers would be the top uses of these. One, of course, more involved than the other one, and we can do a lot with these. And again, we don't need the name wrapped around when the name is on the side, and we have the no microphones, but it's Christ to the center, and it bring another thing I remember from that conversation was energy.
Yeah.
We said we like the energy. Another thing that Radiance would stand for to us was we want to be a happy conversation time, not a walk away sad time. Which I don't know how many podcasts want you to walk away sad or anything, but
I know, or I think I maybe mentioned in that conversation like overly academic. Like it's easy because we're talking about school and we're talking about education, to just let it kind of blend in with everything else that's just completely scholarly. And I don't want to take it away that we're not academic and that we're not professional in what we do, but I've really loved that about what we've created so far is, and even we've been hearing from some people that are listening is, yes, we're dealing with the subjects, but we're doing it in a fun, somewhat entertaining, casual, conversational way that invites other people to listen and jump in. So I love everything about this.
Yeah, it works so well. And at the bottom you'll see, as opposed to the Radiance on the backside of like just the template YouTube landscape cover. Here we have one that he came up with. Now we'll be replacing the picture there with Matt with his hand on his chin with a different one, the newer ones that we took. But we'll keep rotating those out. But I do like that again. He's done a great job in minimizing He's done a great job in minimizing the really just what we're seeing on these covers and majoring on what we want to major on, which again, I know he's professional, he's going to do that, but he did it and I didn't do it earlier on. So I feel bad about that. Somebody, but not too bad. I like here these banners with EP 76 and EP 86 and the logo at the top right. It's clean. It's clean. It's simple. I love it. It's minimalistic. It's great. And we got the major, again, thinking we're not going to see everything on those tiny episode covers. What you want to see is the major wording of what I'm looking at. But he maintained what we asked him for, which was to always have our Christian Administrator Spotlight's name on this as well. Because we always want to keep those people that we are highlighting that we want them to see their name in lights. They might not want to, but we want them to see their name in lights. So it's very near and dear to our hearts that as we have the Herzog Foundation that we're in partnership with, we also want to put the names of these administrators on there. So, Julie, you get your name on there for this one. Also, Matt, did you notice the accent color of the YouTube cover? The accent color that's new of the YouTube cover.
Yeah, no, I do like that.
That's red.
I love
that's like the alma mater.
Well, it is. Yeah.
I remember when the alma mater made their change to the new logo away from the offensive one, or what was perceived as offensive.
The accent is red.
They accented with red, and that is bold, and I can't wait to use it. That's going to be fun. So those of you who will be watching us or seeing our show now when you go to Spotify or Apple or wherever you go for the podcast, this will be the new cover that you see. We got some new pictures, names at the bottom, our in partnership across with the banner, and of course the larger for and by Christian School Principles with the logo in the center. This will be the new podcast cover art, which even again, she heard us, Elizabeth and Tony heard us, and we said, I think it is important to keep our faces on there, not for prideful reasons, but rather we want this to be definitely not for prideful reasons.
Look better.
It would be better if we were cartoon characters. In fact, I've thought about that, making us cartoon characters.
Here we go.
I think it would be fun to do that eventually, but because we do want people to know who it is. Like, we're not hiding who we are. This is us. Come be a part of the community that we are building with you. And this is what I look like. All hair loss and everything. This massive forehead of mine. This is what you see. This is what you get. But anyway, I thank all of you. Thank you all. Without you, we would not be having a brand reveal. We would not a refresher reveal. Yeah. And again, this one, Matt, I ended with this one because I just love the simplicity of it. But you know what? That's what we're doing is not hard. It's time consuming. It's a labor of love, but it's not hard. It is not hard, Matt, to talk to you about Christian school. It is not hard to talk to you about leadership in Christian school. It is not hard to talk to you and to think of our peers. Even the email we just got, the email we were just reading, it is not hard to come on and do this, thinking that there might be somebody out there who's looking to be a part of a bigger community of Christian school leaders.
Yeah, it's exciting, and like I said, I'm excited to see where the podcast is going to take us, because I do think in the past week it seems like that we've been hearing from more of you listeners, and we want to hear from more of you, because this isn't just about the two of us. This is about all of us. So I appreciate those of you that are listening and yet maybe haven't quite made it known that you're listening yet. But we
shout it from the mountaintops, proclaim it in the city streets, sing it everywhere you go. I listen to the CPP.
Here he goes. Here he goes.
Shout it.
I don't know what this button does. I'm gonna push it. I don't know what it does. It didn't do anything.
I didn't hear anything. No, it's okay.
Give me a what?
Oh, there we go.
that was perfect. Give me a what? Say what?
I definitely gotta say that right now.
Well, folks, that was fun, Matt. That was fun. It was fun to relive those with you.
It?
It's this lightning pod is not a lightning pod, but our lightning pods are never lightning pods. So it's definitely shorter than our usual episodes. So for that, we are thankful.
There we go.
For that, we are thankful. Everybody, thanks for growing with us today.